Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Nullscape reaction. Today we have Won't You Hear My Symphony, as requested by Uma Racing in the comments of last video, and honestly, I've seen this comment by quite a few other people, but this one had a lot of attention on it, and I can't ignore those. I've got to give the people what they want, and clearly this song is it. So I'll give this one a chance, knowing full well that it's both Digital Descendant and Key After Key, which is an interesting combo to me. I'm interested to hear what that'll sound like, so without further ado, let's go! It's also a fairly long song. I didn't expect it to be like almost 8 minutes, you know? A lot of room to grow with that time. Ooh. Okay, strong start. This is already one of those tracks I can tell is going to go to eons beyond where it needs to. And I really hope I'm right guessing that. Nice change up on the beat there, by the way. It was a subtle change, but okay. The dramatic build-up. A little hard style in there, huh? All right. This is already better than the last one I heard from this same collection, because that one was all right, but this one already completely blows it out of the water. I love that the bass line isn't lining up in key. Not perfectly. It's a nice dissonance. And I didn't really mention it the last time this came around, but I love this huge flair for the dramatic with this orchestration in there. Makes everything a little bit more chaotic. But it's a controlled chaos. It's a very well done composition. Everything has its place. It has where it started and a clear direction of where it's going to end. And I think that's one of the things that this song holds over the last one. And honestly, it just kind of feels better mixed than the last one did. wonder, is this like composition underneath, is that like original or is that a sample of a pre-existing work? I could honestly believe either one. If it is original, brilliant. But if it's a sample, they just made very good use of it. They put it in there perfectly. It doesn't feel out of place at all. Like, especially this horn section. I really do wonder if that's just entirely original. I feel like it most likely is, but just very well appropriated of that symphonic style. It just makes so much sense with everything else going on. Yeah, it's... I'm so quiet because I'm like listening to every layer in here. I'll have to talk about why I'm not so sure with that, like, symphonic backing. Not that it's bad. It's good. It's just like I can't be sure if it's original or not. And there are reasons for that, but I didn't want to get into all that while I was just listening to it. This absolutely blew It Doesn't End Here out of the water. Okay, so I do want to say I did go and listen to the early mix of this that Key After Key posted, just so you're aware that I have heard that, and that is significantly different. I can definitely hear where Digital Descendant put their own, like, spin on the song for this one. This version had so much more beef on the low end, especially a lot of work on the synth and a little bit of extra spice on the drums. That was most of what he did, but that makes the song sound that much more powerful. Key did an amazing job composing this one as like a whole, because holy shit. But what Digital did to it took the song from being a pretty beautiful piece just on its own and just punched you in the face with so much more energy behind it that it completely changed the scale of what the song was. Key made a brilliant song, but this made it this gigantic, epic, like, again, punch you in the face level sort of sound that just, you need some low end for that. And I feel like he kind of missed out a little bit with some of that in the early mix, which that's the point of collaborations. You make a song, you pass it to your friend, they do their thing, they send it back, they're like, hey, how does that sound? Maybe try this, you do that. Usually you just do that back and forth until you come up with something, or in this case, I feel like it was just Key After Key being trusted with the main composition of the song and then handing all the stems to Digital, who then just kind of put their own spin on it. And I feel like this is really where Digital Descendant shows their true colors, like as an artist, taking somebody else's work and just fucking blowing that shit up to a scale that was previously unfound. And it's just like, holy hell. And of course, Digital's made great music on their own. That'll never change, but you can really tell that they understand scope and scale. When they're handed a great piece, they can pull out something even more from that energy. And just like the loudness of it was generally like greater, but it was the addition of the low end, the synths especially. Lots of that low end stuff was so much more clear. If that synth was present in Key's original mix, I couldn't fucking hear it. So if Digital took that and cranked it up, great call. If they added it without it being there originally, great call. This is what I'm talking about. So this song has an amazingly complex chord progression for a few different reasons. And this in general is going to be weird. I'm just going to obviously play it, but there is something about this chord progression that I did not anticipate when I was like first listening to it. I thought it sounded cool, but the reason it sounds cool is so much more complex and fun to talk about. So we have G minor. It's kind of where we start with this one. B flat, F. That's the interesting part. And we do go down to D minor, but the reason that I love that F in there is because usually a G minor to a B flat is pulling you up and away. And it's not something that really wants you to go back down, let alone to an F. Like if I were to say this goes back down, something like that, like an E flat or hell, even a C, maybe if you were to go low, but like, again, it's pulling you up. So like maybe up to that D minor, but we don't do that. We go down to F and then down to that D minor. So it's splitting this difference of creating an energy in the track that is surprisingly solemn. There is an energy that this song has, which it kind of grates against the expectation of what this song is building initially. For me, when I first started hearing that chord progression, I'm like, oh, we're going to be going up here to this. And like, it's just after doing what I do for long enough, you start to pick up these patterns and realize what people are going to be doing on a regular basis. And this song kind of just threw that in the trash. It was like, I'm going to do something completely different. And it still works within the key. It's not like they were changing any of that. It was still following the rules of the key, because what it wasn't doing is following the traditional expectation of where this chord progression should go. That is kind of more what I would do. Maybe the higher octave there. It really just depends on how you want to phrase that. But instead, choosing to go from the F to the D minor there, that changes the energy to the song. Like, again, the process of going up is expecting you to drop down and then back up. But we don't get that with this one. We get all the way down for the second part. So instead of lifting back up into a more positive energy, you're continuing to settle further. You only get this one chord up here, that B flat, that's lifting the song, and everything else is kind of pulling you back down, and it doesn't let you out of that energy right away. It does kind of loop back into that, and then it does even kind of take a step down to the A in order for us to exit the song and move on from there. And then it gets even more complicated from there. There is a chord in here that I'm not 100% sure is what's going on, but that like background stuff with the horns and everything, the dun 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 dun, like that was going on during that one spot that I was really liking. That is a weird chord. That I think is a B flat minor 7th flat 5th, because then you get this, which is this disgustingly dissonant chord that honestly doesn't seem to work in much of anything in any context, but when you slap it up against the A here, it's creating this cluster of not really having any sort of like harmonic resonance to it at all. And it's just everything is fighting against itself in this. It's basically hitting fucking every note that it shouldn't be in a harmony. So having that clash is important for the song, and as wild as that is, it kind of works. Like if you were just to make that the B flat, which I do believe actually happens later in the song, funny enough, I'm not sure about that either, because like I'm pretty sure that they do happen with like the B flat on its own later, and that does the same like argument with the A there. But the reason that it's weird is because we start in that heavy dissonance, and then I think they remove that and they go back to the root of just the B flat. And that's insane to me because that is a very subtle in the grand scheme of things, way to evolve the chord progression for this song. It doesn't really go anywhere, honestly, from like what I could tell. It doesn't seem to really have any true meaning other than changing the energy just slightly from something that's more chaotic and more pressured to something that's a little bit more sensible for the ear, because these do kind of work together if they're in the same octave. It just feels still kind of, you know, short and clustered. You can't really argue with it, but the way they bounce between the lower and the upper kind of helps separate them a little bit and make it more tolerable for the ears. And the reason that B flat minor 7th flat 5 just does not work with this A is purely, honestly, because of this A flat here. So it's just, it doesn't want to work with it. You could argue that could also work with the song, but I don't think those are the notes being used. It might be, but I'm doubting it. It's still insane. This song is so much more complicated than I have time for today. And that's great for them because it's creating this gorgeous soundscape that I have to try and figure out to explain to all of you, but there are literally too many steps to the complexity for me to do that sensibly in the time I have, because I don't have endless time to make these videos every day, and I wish I did in times like this, because there is so much more I would love to talk about, because I haven't even gotten to the thing with the C sharp that's in here either, and there's a whole thing with that, and I do not have the time to do that. So this one fucking bodies. Absolutely fucking bodies. It doesn't end here. Honestly, this is a brilliant collaboration, an immaculate fucking piece of work, and I wish I had more time to talk about it, but I don't. So all I really did cover today was like the meat and potatoes of my favorite parts of it, and I just do not have the time for the rest. So thank you all so very much for watching. I have to go do other stuff now. If you have another song you want me to get to, by all means, drop in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!